Will a cold air intake actually make your 2024 Toyota Tacoma faster and sound better, or is this just all hype? This is a stock intake, and this entire setup muffles out the air rushing into the engine. But today, we're changing that. We're upgrading to the K&N Cold Air Intake, giving our engine better flow, a bit more power, and some awesome turbo noises. Today, I'm gonna show you how to install this K&N Cold Air Intake on the 4th gen Toyota Tacoma. We're gonna put it to the test to see if we can actually feel and hear a difference and find out if it actually makes this Tacoma more fun to drive. One thing to take note is that K&N actually guarantees an increase of 15 horsepower and 25 torque without a tune. It's nothing crazy. You wouldn't even notice if you weren't looking for it. Also note, by feeding cleaner, colder air into your engine, you can slightly increase your miles per gallon, which saves you money at the pump. And take a look at how awesome this is all sealed, along with the stock sealant that we already had there, making sure that all of that hot air from the engine is not coming inside our cold air intake. This kit comes with a free-flowing, high-density aluminum intake tube with a beautiful chrome finish. This will clean up the air going into the engine for a cooler and smoother flow. The best part, you won't have to replace your stock air filter. This kit comes with this awesome high flow air filter that can be washed and reused for a lifetime. The installation process should take you no more than an hour, and it can easily be done in your driveway or garage with some basic tools. I would rate this a 1 out of 10 in terms of ease of install, 10 being the hardest. The tools required for this install are going to be a flathead screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, ratcheting extension, ratcheting wrench, 10mm and 8mm socket, side cutters, and a 3mm Allen key. All right, let's get on with this install. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is remove the negative battery terminal. Then we're gonna push down on these 4 retainer clips. This is going to allow us to remove the air duct from the vehicle. Then we're gonna disconnect the mass air sensor connector. Unhook the wiring harness from the air filter housing. Now we're going to loosen the hose clamp that secures the intake hose to the intake plenum. So the instructions do say to just remove this one clamp down here and the entire system should come out. For us, this hose right here is really connected in there. So I advise you guys to actually remove this second clamp, unclip the top part of the airbox. Remove this first. That will now allow you to really tuck on this hose and then just pull the entire airbox out. All right, now we're going to remove the 3 airbox mounting posts. Now it's time for us to prep the heat shield. They have provided this rubber gasket. It's exactly 48 inches long, and they want us to trim 40 inches and then have 8 inches left over. This is going to prevent any hot air or water from coming in to the air filter. So the small piece is gonna go on the bottom part of your heat shield. And then for the top part of the heat shield, we're gonna start down here and make our way all around. And slowly it all comes together. Also guys, make sure that you are not on a rough surface. You don't want your heat shield getting scratched. This is something nice to have on your engine bay. Cool. Just like that, guys. Take a look at how awesome that looks. Now we're going to install the filter adapter by using the provided hardware. You're going to align these 2 holes with this right here. So we're gonna align them. And then first we're gonna hand tighten. Now we're gonna go ahead and tighten it. And then we're gonna proceed to installing the K&N logo. Just gonna push in. And then to make sure that that's secured in the back, we'll add this locking tab right there. Take a look at how awesome that looks. By using the provided hardware, we're going to be installing the heat shield inside the engine bay. Then we're going to align it to where the original airbox was mounted. And then we're going to just hand tighten provided hardware. And then we're going to do the same thing on the back side. And then using your extension and your 10mm socket, we're gonna tighten that. Using the provided straight coupler, we're gonna insert that into the plenum and then place the provided hose clamp. Now we're going to install the coupler with the hump to the filter adapter. Make sure you leave your hose clamp in there. Now we're going to remove the mass airflow sensor from the stock housing. Right out. And we're going to install that into our K&N tube. Wiggle it in there. You'll see those holes align. You guys can see the sensor in there. And then using the provided hardware, so go ahead and install those. Gonna tighten this.
Music licensing reimagined.
Cool. All right, guys, we're getting really close. I'm getting excited. Right now, we're gonna install the K&N tube. Don't forget your hose clamps. You're gonna have a big one up top and then another one down here. And then to install the intake, you're gonna start from the top. Make sure it goes into that top coupler. And then you're going to massage it on the bottom one. There. Oh yeah, we're getting really close to finishing, guys. We're gonna tighten everything. All right, verify that it's nice and tight, that it's tight all around, that you have a nice seal. And now, my friends, it's time for the air filter. We're gonna insert it going down like this. It is gonna be a tight fit. And wiggle that filter in there, and then we're gonna come right up. We're gonna make sure it fits all the way in, and then make sure we have access to our hose clamp right there. Using an extension and an 8mm socket, we're gonna go ahead and just tighten this. Now we're going to connect the mass air sensor connector to the sensor. Make sure that clicks. And then now all we have to do is install our original air duct. Insert this tab right there, push in, and then I'm gonna do that all around. One of the things that I'm really digging of this setup is this air duct is allowing that cold air to just go right into this air box. For those of you guys that are always hating on the fact that, oh yeah, but the hot air from the engine will come in, this right here, guys, is the setup. Loving it. And for the last step, don't forget to connect your negative terminal. And this is it. We're ready to test out the K&N Cold Air Intake. I'm stoked. We actually have a turbo on our Tacomas, and I've been anxiously waiting to see if this air intake is actually gonna make the Tacoma sound nice. I want you guys to take this moment to comment down below and let me know if you feel like it's gonna sound like total garbo or if it's gonna sound nice. Let's go find out. Dude, I'm actually really excited here. All right, here it goes. All right, we're gonna let the engine warm up a little bit.
You're nervous?
Oh, dude, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm excited. I really want this to sound good. All right, truck's been warmed up. Let's hit it. Here it goes. That is definitely not as loud as the third gen. Let's make sure everything is nice and tight. You're also gonna wanna make sure you check that once in a while, just to make sure nothing's getting loose. All right, we're gonna rev it right now, see how it sounds. Now, I'm not fully feeling a difference, and I think it has to do with the engine having a rev limiter at 4,000 RPM. I'm not seeing it build up any boost, so let's take it for a drive. We're gonna compare the sound with the actual mic inside the engine bay. We placed it right next to the intake. We heard it on our headphones, and we can hear the turbo spooling. And it sounds really, really nice. Now, we cannot hear that inside the cab, and our goal with the K&N intake is that that noise actually can now be heard inside the cab. So here it is. This is stock. Top of the gear where it's going. Oh! No way, dude, I just got goosebumps. Dude, I was so sad. Oh my God, guys. I was getting really sad because I was like, there's no way in hell we're not hearing it. I can't really step on it right now because we're in my neighborhood and I kind of have to go within the speed limit here, but let's see, we're about to get out. We're about to get out and I got really excited. You heard that, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, we made it outside the neighborhood. Now, right before I felt it, I did notice the car was being a little bit more snappier. And right away I was like, man, I'm feeling a little bit more power. Is it just in my head? Is this? And then I felt the boost and I felt it spool. Here we go. Ready? All right, we got 280 there. That right there, that moment is worth the money right there. What is it about that turbo spooling that we like so much? I'm so stoked that I can finally hear it inside the cab. I love how I can just hear the dude, that is so sick. Like I mentioned before, the power, that is not so much a selling factor. I can sort of feel it being better, but if you don't look for it, you wouldn't notice. The engine's definitely loud. Wow!
Do one that's not so fast, that way you can hear it a little better. Like, just let off in the top of a gear where it's going.
Oh!
See, there you go.
Dude, I feel like I'm inside a drift car, but this thing ain't that fast. Oh! Are you hearing that?
Yeah, I can hear it through your head.
How sick is that?
Yeah.
100% worth the money.
Definitely, it's way louder than stock, for sure.
And it's also not as obnoxious as the third gen. So immediately you guys heard me say it, man, it doesn't sound as loud as a third gen. I was kind of bummed. I guess these Tacomas now, they're limiting how much we can rev it when it's just stationary, and because of that we weren't really hearing the turbo. We weren't really hearing that air intake really sucking in, and that induction noise was just not there. It got me really bummed, but it wasn't until I left my neighborhood that immediately I just started to hear all the sounds that I was looking for and hoping to get so that I can show it to you guys. And boy, am I happy. Here it goes. If you guys like this upgrade, make sure to check the link to the K&N Cold Air Intake in the description below. It's extremely easy to install. It's basically plug and play, and I definitely recommend.